Hey everyone, as a realtor, I work with residents in Needham every single day. I am constantly asking people what they're looking for, what they value about our town, and what concerns them about the future. Through those conversations, you really get a clear understanding of what people care about, which is thoughtful planning and what makes Needham special. With planning board elections coming up, I thought it would be helpful to sit down and talk directly with one of the candidates so voters can hear what he stands for. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Gary Lesanto, who is running for planning board here in Needham. Gary, thanks for being here. I really appreciate your time. It's great to have you on.
Connor, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Gary, for the viewers out there that might not know you, can you give us a little background on your personal and professional life and what ties you to Needham?
Absolutely. My wife and I, we moved into Needham 25 years ago. Built my own house here in Needham at that time. Raised two sons here in Needham and got to enjoy all the niceties that Needham has to offer. Went through the school systems and the sports programs. My wife is an employee at Sunita Williams. She's a special education teacher, working there for about 25 years as well. So we've enjoyed a good quarter of a century here in town, which has been fantastic. Professionally, I've been a builder and developer for just about 30 years now. I do property management and commercial management as well. So I've spent a lifetime involved in these issues and facets of it, and I just feel that it's something at this point in the stage of my career that I could bring back to Needham and use those skills and knowledge to a degree to look at the issues facing the town.
What made you decide that right now was the right time to run for planning board?
I think recent times I've been getting more involved into the issues that are affecting Needham, looking into the current proposals that are on the table for the planning board and other issues throughout the town. Currently there's a large house review study committee proposal that's in front of the board that was put together to discuss some of the issues. I was a member of the prior committee back in 2016 to 2019 when we went through and revised some of the zoning issues at that time. So that kind of engaged me to say, I was curious to see where they were heading with this, because we established it and left it in such a way that it could be modified, which we thought might happen at some point. So I became involved in looking at that. And the more I became involved looking at it, I saw it and thought that it would be good to get back into the community and get involved with some of these issues as that progresses, as well as the numerous projects and potential projects coming into town.
As you know, planning board decisions shape the town for decades. Housing, traffic, business districts, and of course, neighborhood character. Why do you feel that you're the right person for this role?
It's a great question. I think because I've been doing this for 30 years, I have a lot of insight into development, how it works, how projects develop and how they're implemented. And I think being a resident here for 25 years, I've got to see and enjoy all the things that Needham has to offer, its culture, its history, the design of the downtown. And so I think it's important to look to preserve those. You want to grow, and you want to grow moderately, slowly, gradual, thoughtful growth, but you want to maintain, all the good things that Needham has to offer. And so, what I'm doing at this point in time is trying to go out door to door and meeting people, taking in all kinds of information, because I believe being on the planning board, it's more being a steward of the community, right? You want to get to know people, you want to know what their positions are and how they feel about different situations, how they feel about growth, how they feel about downtown, what they think is good, what they think could be improved. And then if I'm fortunate enough to be elected to the planning board, I'm a steward of that. It's not what Gary Lesanto wants on the planning board, right? It's to be a steward of what the people in the community want. And I think that combined with my 30 years of experience in the field helped me be on that side to be able to implement what my fellow residents in this town want. And so I look forward very much to being able to do that.
Some people hear the word developer and immediately have some reservations. How do you respond to that? How do you balance your professional experience with the broader interests of the community?
That's a fair question. I'm not actively building in Needham. Semi-retired, I've done a lot of projects in the surrounding community. Even when I was actively building, I did most of my work in the surrounding community over time. I come to the board with no agenda. I would come with no interest other than to try to be a steward of the people in this community and implement what I think they want. So there is no other surprises other than that. I just really, at this point in my life and career, want to I feel compelled to give back and to get involved, and I just think I can add a lot of value in that aspect. And like I said, to do that through the people for what they want.
There's always this balance between preserving what we love about Needham and continuing to grow this community. What do you think about that balance?
That's a great question, Connor. Well, I think you have to do both, right? That's the job of somebody on the planning board, is to how to do that. And for me, you have the character and charm and culture that Needham offers and brings to the table for all of us residents. And we're going to undoubtedly have new growth, right? It's going to be coming in through the MBTA Act and other projects. So how do you find that balance? And I think the way to do it is you have to realize that Needham has an existing base already down, right? In the downtown and throughout. So when projects come in, I think they have to be looked at from a perspective about how is this going to blend in with the community? What's the impact going to be on roadways, on our existing infrastructure, right, perhaps?
Right.
And that's going to be different from projects that are under the MBTA relative to private projects, because the MBTA doesn't allow for the funding of utility and infrastructure, redevelopment. So I think those issues have to be looked at. But from a planning perspective, you don't want to have, an urbanization come into town where you're dwarfing other projects that are there. So you have to look at slow, gradual, and thoughtful growth in order to have the sense of community remain and have the type of architecture and details and size blend in with what's already there. I mean, we want to preserve this town. We don't want to see Needham drastically change. At least that's what I'm hearing from people as I'm going door to door, that, yeah, growth is inevitable, but we don't want to lose our charm. We don't want to lose the reason that we moved here, right? We came to this, we came to this town because it's a family community, small town, right? And so if we're going to grow a little bit, it should be slow, gradual, and thoughtful, and implemented in such a way that it doesn't overwhelm the existing structures and businesses and people that we have in this town. It has to be done in that fashion.
For someone who's still undecided in this race, what would you want someone to understand about you that might not come across in a mailer or a campaign post?
Great question. Well, I think that there are differing opinions in this race, and I think I just want people to know that I'm for slow, thoughtful, and gradual growth, that I believe that any project or development has to be looked at in a fashion so that it blends into the existing community. I really think we have to walk before we run. And I think it's important that people know about me that I want to get feedback as much as possible. And that would be on a per project basis. Like, I'm in the middle of a campaign right now and I'm going door to door to collect information, but it's not going to stop for me then, right? I've been doing some Zooms, getting set up to do some Zooms in the campaign. I would like to continue that going forward, and I would like people to know that I'm going to be easily accessible, because I can't do anything if I don't have feedback. Because again, I just believe that I'm running to be the steward of the community to try and implement what they want. And so I think the best way to do that is to continue that dialogue, keep getting feedback, and then once I get that, I know how to do it. With my experience, my career, I know what to do once I get it. And that's going to change project to project. So as they come in, I may put out Zooms, I may get feedback, and I want that it's going to be an open book type of dialogue if I'm fortunate enough to be elected to that position, and I would honor to do it.
Gary, I really appreciate you taking the time. Again, as someone who talks with Needham residents every single day, I know how important these issues are to the community and the people in the community, and how much they want to feel heard. Conversations like this help voters get a better sense, not just of the policies, but how someone thinks about and approaches decisions that can affect our community. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate your time, and make sure everyone out there who's watching this, please vote. Gary's a tremendous candidate for this role, and I think is a perfect fit, incredibly knowledgeable, cares about this community. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.